Hello everyone, it's Torj, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Playing Guild Wars 2, and right now I am in Gendarin Fields. What I'm doing today doesn't really have anything to do with being in Gendarin Fields. It'll work pretty much anywhere. But a lot of people seem to be having some trouble with swapping mounts from the new expansion, Path of Fire. Basically, if anybody wants to swap their mount, what they would have to do initially is dismount from the mount that they're on. Use this little drop menu here to switch to a mount that will help them out in the field, or just the mount that they prefer. And a lot of people seem to find that a little bit clunky. Wooden Potatoes on YouTube doesn't seem to find it clunky at all, but a lot of people do. So what they do instead is they mount each of these mounts to particular hotkeys on their keyboard. Mine for the moment happen to be I have J here for Raptor, K for the Springer, L for the Skimmer, and semicolon for the Jackal. So anyway, they have these key bindings for the mounts. So if they just wanted to switch from, for example, the Jackal to the Springer, they would need to dismount from the Jackal, wait about half a second, and then mount the Springer. And there's still a lot of people who are saying that this is still very clunky and it's not very intuitive. And for the moment, online, there doesn't seem to be a huge remedy for this problem that people seem to be having. Nothing on YouTube, nothing from doing a Google search. So I figured I'd give it a shot and see what I could find. And already built in the game, without having to download a particular tool, there is a method to instantly swap between mounts. And it's a little bit finicky to start off with. And this works for pretty much every single mount except for one, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm mounted on the Jackal. I'm going around, and I'm running through the Crystal Desert or something like that. And I come across some forged, and I'm like, I see a hill ahead of me, and it's the perfect spot for a Springer. But the problem is, if I dismount and I don't mount the Springer in time, they'll lock me in combat and then I can't mount. But there is a way to bypass that. So let's just take, for example, that I'm on the Raptor and I just instantly want to swap to the Springer. Ta-da! Did it. It's already built in the game. You don't need to download a third-party tool or anything like that to be able to do it, and it's just using the hotkeys on your keyboard that you have your controls bound to. Let's see, let's scroll down here and show you guys definitively what I have mounted. So, there's the Raptor mount for J, the Springer mount for K, Skimmer, L, Jackal, semicolon. And like I said, this works for pretty much every single mount except for the Springer. I mean, it still works for the Springer, but it's a little bit finicky to get it to work, and I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. Alright, so basically how it works is I've got my hotkeys here for the mounts, and basically I'm on the Raptor right now, and if I want to go from the Raptor to the Skimmer, for example, what I have to do is I have to press the Raptor mount first, and then press the Skimmer mount, and I have to slide to it like you're playing on a keyboard, on a piano. So I'm mounted on Raptor right now, and I want to do the switch. So what I have to do is this. Kind of have to have a little bit of a slide to it, and it works going back to the Raptor if I want. And you can even do every single mount. Oops, a little bit of a mess up there. You can do each of the mounts to the Springer, but the Springer is the only one currently that is a little bit awkward to do, because it's not a quick keystroke like that. What you have to do is put a little bit of a pause in between that. My guess is because the Springer has a bit of an animation delay compared to the other mounts. The other mounts are just fine. The Springer is the only one that's kind of awkward like that. So if I wanted to go from the Springer to Jackal, not Jackal, the Raptor, for example, I would need to pause like this. It still works, but it's the only mount in your current list of 4 that requires a pause. Because I don't have the 5th mount, I don't know for certain whether or not this works for that one. But for these other ones, it seems to work okay. Occasionally, you'll get a little mechanic mix-up, where you'll have the command bar for the mount that you want, but you won't be mounted at that point. What you would have to do is basically just press the mount button again. So it doesn't always work. It works most of the time, just not always. So let's see if I can get that to happen, just to give you guys an example. Nope. Okay, it doesn't look like I can get it to happen at the moment. Oh well. Maybe sometime during the recording it'll come up and I'll remember to cover that. It was happening a lot when I went from the Springer to the Skimmer. Maybe I just subconsciously figured out the timing between them, and now I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Can't make me. Oh well. Okay. So the reason why I mention it's the fact that it's already implemented into the game instead of it having to be a third-party tool is because there are a couple third-party tools that have like a radial menu in the center, and all you have to do is slide your mouse cursor over the visual that you want, and then you would just select that. This, however, I think works a little bit better, and I'm more comfortable with that, switching like this. So, there you have it. We have the ability to instantly swap between mounts. It just requires a little bit of finagling. But you don't have to spend that half a second kind of waiting for the cooldown of the mount button. Like if you were just to do it like that. See, you can just instantly swap between that. And then you come up with some combos between the mounts, like the Springer, for example, has a lower recharge time for its endurance. So if you wanted to use the Jackal to teleport around, switch to the Springer to get your endurance back, you can do that. And this is why, even though I record this, I'm a little bit iffy about posting this video, because this could be seen as an exploit. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to be the guy who makes an exploit public. I don't think it'll be a huge issue, though, because it's something that's already implemented in the game. Currently, I don't think the patches have even mentioned something like this for mount swapping. And I don't know if they're going to patch this out. We'll see in the coming days. But for now, instant mount swapping. It's awesome, and it's not super finicky. Mostly. There we go. And it works! So, I think without further ado, without drawing this out longer than it needs to be, I'll just say, thank you guys for watching. This is Torj, and I'm out.